going to go through all my physical TBR and all that because Ellen Catherine has done this. So I'm going to film my version of every single book I have on my physical TBR that me and my mum need to read and all that. So let's get started in all that. We're going through my physical TBR. The two books are One by One by Frida McFadden and Ward D by Frida McFadden that my mum still needs to read and stuff. Funny Story by Emily Henry that my mum needs to read, and First Time Caller that me and mum still need to read and stuff. We have Save Your Breath and Watch Your Mouth by Candy Steiner. This is the King of Ice series that my mum will have to read. I got them for me and her to read, but I didn't like the first one, so I'm not going to carry on the series. So my mum just needs to read these books and stuff. Next she's going to have to read is The Locked Door by Frida McFadden and The Nightingale by Christian Hannah. Those are the next two books that my mum will have to read. The Enemy that me and mum has to read. Chase Me that my mum has to read, and me and mum will have to read Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. So those are the three books that me and mum still need to read and stuff. Blast from the Past by Lucy Score, The Intruder by Frida McFadden, and The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden that my mum still needs to read. The Stars by Emily McIntyre. This is the first book in the Sugar Lake series. I've read this, my mum needs to read this now. Dusted by Layla Sage. I read this one. This is the first book in the Rebel Blue Run series by Layla Sage. So my mum needs to get on and read this book. Mum still needs to read Burning Daylight by Emily McIntyre. My mum will have to read is The Tenant by Frida McFadden. My mum will have to read is The Summer You Found Me by Elizabeth O'Rourke. So yeah, my mum still needs to read this one. Bones by Colin Hoover. I've read this one and gave it, I think it was 3 or 4 stars. My mum just needs to read this book and stuff. Let's read Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. I'll read November 9 by Colin Hoover. I might save this for around November time, as it's the month. The Trouble by Emma Ray, my mum still needs to read. This book is Bad Publicity by Bianca Glenn, Part-Time Romance by Kate Robb. Then we've got The Temporary Roomie by Sarah Adams and Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. Those are the next 3 books that me and mum will still need to read. Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, All It Takes Is a Little Bit of Sugar and Spice by Laurie Gilmore. My mum still needs to read this one. Full Book by Sarah Adams. Nanny by Lana Ferguson. Off Limit Wall by Sarah Adams. Steady by Peyton Corrine. Light Farms by B.K. Borison. Trying to save this one for Christmas time because it looks like a Christmassy book. Berlin by Hannah Bonan Young. I can't believe he looks like he got a prosthetic leg, which is so cool. Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. books are Beneath the Hood and Beneath the Surface by Emily McIntyre. It's book 3 and 4 in the Sugar Light series. I really want to get to these and stuff quite soon because I like the first one. So yeah. The rest of the Chestnut Spring series I need to read. I got to read Heartless, Reckless, Hopeless and Powerless. I've read Flawless this year, so I just need to finish off the rest of the Chestnut Spring series. Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I've had this book since I was 19, which is crazy. Tamed Heart by Gemma Moore, a Diamondback Branch novel. The Goal and the Score by Elle Kennedy, book 3 and 4 in the Off Campus series that I really want to get to this year. I like the movies, Better Than the Movies, and The Do-Over by Lynn Painter that I want to get to this year. I got Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter that I want to get to it again this year. Beneath the Sands, which is book 2 in the Sugar Light series, so I'll most probably read this book next. This book I'm going to read is Soul Searching by Layla Sage because I loved her Well Blue Ranch series, so this is her newest book that's been released. Got the Gingerbread Bakery and the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It's the Star of the Dream Harvest series by Laurie Gilmore that my mum needs to get to. 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston that my mum needs to get to. Dixon Wall by Elle Kennedy that my mum needs to get to. The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. Got this one because of my brother's name in the title. Having One Summer and Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey that my mum needs to read. Game Changer by Lana Ferguson. Dream Girl Drama by Tessa Bailey, and I'm going to keep it because of the sprayed edge. Fake Out by Stephanie Archer, the Vancouver Storm series. Theoretically and Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Body in the Backyard, a Wiley Thorne novel by Lucy Score. Wyatt by Jessica Peterson, a Lucky River Ranch series. Love Game by Emma Ray. Layla Ann Pincock, Believe. One Italian Summer by Rebecca Shirley. Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. It's a new one from the Sprayed Edge. It's just been released this year. Flawless by Esther Silva. I read this in January of this year and gave it 5 stars. So, yeah. Drift and Saddle by Layla Sage. It's the second book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. And I gave this 5 stars. We've got Catherine Center, Hello Stranger, and Elle Kennedy, Bad Girl Reputation. First by Colin Hoover and Make Me by Tessa Bailey. Chase, which is She Was the One Girl He Shouldn't Want by Elle Kennedy. This is book 1 in the By You series. Here's Mr. Fixer Upper by Lucy Scott. He's used to get in his own way until she comes along. Night Shift by Annie Crown. Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke, and Beach Read by Emily Henry. I gave this 5 stars and my mum needs to read this one. Got The Dare by Elle Kennedy and Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood and Facing the Music by Hannah Spirit. Hopeless by Colin Hoover and The Good Part by Sophie Cousin. Once Was Mine and Mirror Mirror, a Twisted Tale novel. Summer People, The Italian Island Summer and Second Chance Summer. These have to be kept because of my sister's name. Never Lie by Frida McFadden, You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, and One Day in Summer by Charlotte Lowe. Under a Summer Sky and Summer Daydreams. Mail, Not in My Book, and A Recipe for Christmas. Taking Back My Power by Georgia Howson, and It's a Long Way Home, The Lost Days of Summer. Story of My Life by Lucy Score, Hits Difference, and Cozy Gal Fall. At First Bite, Happy Bloody Christmas, and Wildfire. I gave Wildfire 5 stars. I share the bookcase with my mum. Spirits by B.K. Bolson, Throttled, and Overdrive. 7 Summers by Paige Toon. Really Love, It Starts With Us, and All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. Bound by Tara Do It, and Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. Love Me Do, The American Roommate Experiment, and Scott and Bothered. Jackpot Summer, Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alston, and The Night She Disappeared by Lucy Joelle. Summer of Broken Walls by K.L. Walter. I love how floppy this book is, so me and Mum will need to read this. Got A Secret Cornish Summer, The Cornish Cream Tea Summer, and The Butterfly Summer. Again, got to keep because of my sister's name. Summer Scandal, Paper Hearts and Summer Kisses, The Match by Sarah Adams, Mixed Signals by B.K. Borson, and The Summer House. Catch Her If You Can by Tessa Bailey, Love in the Fast Lane, Just for the Summer, Checking Mate, and Picture Perfect. Popsis by Ali Hazelwood, The Deal by Al Kennedy, You Found Oliver by Dustin Thau, The Graham Effect by Al Kennedy, and can't pick this one up. You Beat Sam by Dustin Thau. Lost and Lassoed by Layla Sage. I absolutely love this. Gave this 5 stars. Happy Place by Emily Henry. I gave 5 stars. Dust Storm by Megan Gates, and The Front Runner by Elsie Silver. Skating by Lynn Painter, The Mistake by Al Kennedy, In the Weeds by B.K. Borson, Happily Never After by Lynn Painter, and Duke by Jessica Peterson. Winter Gardens by Christian Hannah, In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore. Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden, Nightshade by Autumn Woods, Free in the Wild by Paisley Hope, and Wild Eyes, which I gave 5 stars to. Christmas Fix by Lucy Score, and The Christmas Tree Farm, The Magic Starts Here by Laurie Gilmore. Keep these for Christmas time. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which I gave 5 stars. Ari Parry Affair by Tessa Bailey, and Learn Your Lesson by Candy Steiner. I DNF'd this book, so yeah. Card, which I gave 5 stars to. Ever After by Hannah Grace, which I want to still read, but I'm going to save it for Christmas time and start, so November, December time this year. It Alone by Christian Hannah. My mum needs to read this one and stuff. All I Need Is the Four Winds by Christian Hannah. Grow or Still by Sarah Adams. I read this one and gave it 4 stars. It wasn't my favourite book by Sarah Adams, but my mum can read it, then it can go. 12 and Spiral by Belle Cabra. I'll keep them because less Brage Edge that me and Mum still need to read. Business Casual by BK Borson. I'm going to save this for like autumn time and stuff because it makes me feel like autumn because of the flowers. Wish for Us by Tilly Cole. I tried to read this one and I DNF'd it, so my mum can read it, then it can go and stuff. Legacy by L. Kennedy, that me and mum still need to read. It's book 5 in the Off Campus series. Frasier by Lynn Painter, that me and mum still need to read and stuff. I'm showing you books that me and mum still need to read. My mum still need to read is The Play by L. Kennedy. She's about to put this play in his place. This is book 3 in the Briar U series. My mum still need to read is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bowman Young. I'll keep it because of Sprayed Edge, but we both still need to read this one. What my mum needs to read next is Under Lock and Key. Love Can Be Real, A Real Lot Mess by Lana Ferguson. Once she's read it, it can go. Book Boyfriend by Lucy Fine. I don't want to read this one, but my mum can, and then it can go Charity Shop. Some Men Really Are Too Good to Be True. One is Wild Side by Elsie Silver. It's part of the Rose Hill series. I gave this 3 or 2 stars because I hate wrestling and it talks about wrestling. So yeah, it's not my favourite book of hers. So sorry Elsie Silver, but my mum can read it, then it can go charity. Still need to read Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. He's a dark horse, but can she tame him? And look how floppy that is. So I cannot wait for me and mum to read this. My mum will have to read is A Rose Petal Summer by Katie Ford. Summer Secrets by Jane Green. That my mum will have to still read. Got The Summer House by James Peterson to read. My mum will have to read is Road Trip with a Vampire, Falling in Love is One Hell of a Ride by Jonah Levine. Again, I'll keep it because of the Sprayed Edge. Me and mum will still have to read is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Me and my mum has to read this. We'll have to read The Women by Christian Hannah. I'll have to read Wild and Wrangled by Lola Sage. I read this and gave it 5 stars. But I'm going to keep it after she's read it because this series means so much to me. Me and mum will have to read is Unloved by Painting Corey. Me and mum still have to read this one, both of us do. But that is my going through my physical TBR. You know, that's all the books that me and mum will still have to read. So hopefully this year we can take it down and all that. Can someone let me know in the comment section how many books we still have to read all together? So yeah, so I know. But press subscribe, press the like button, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys.